If you are watching this video right now, chances are you're doing what most people call all the right things. You're working hard, you're grinding, you're hustling, you're posting content, serving clients, answering emails, wearing yourself out with the day to day. You're doing everything you were told would eventually create success. But let me ask you a question. If hard work alone, because you're doing hard work, if it created wealth, then why are so many hardworking entrepreneurs struggling financially? By the way, you're looking at a guy who, whenever I started my entrepreneurial journey, I was struggling and I had no one to help me. So I do these videos to try to help as much as I can and share my perspective. So, but again, if hard work was the key to creating wealth, why are so many entrepreneurs struggling financially? Think about it. The average person works 40 years, by the way. And after all that time, most people are still worried about money. Most people are still one emergency away from losing everything, just living under constant financial stress. Most people still need permission to take a vacation. Is my job going to let me off? Am I going to get approved? Why live like that? To me, that's just not fair. Most people still need a paycheck to survive. You know why? Because they have no other income source outside of that job. To me, that's like handcuffing yourself to a job and volunteering for 40 years of financial prison. No, thank you. So, but what that means to me is like the problem is not effort. The problem is the model. Most people, they're serving or following the wrong model. Because if your income stops the moment you stop working or hustling and grinding, you don't own a business. You own a job, or the business owns you. And trust me, I've been there where it's a job. And then here's what happens when you realize it's a job, it ain't fun anymore. It's a job that you just want to quit. But the problem is you're the boss. You quit, the company quits. Everything goes away when you go away. You go on vacation, company goes on vacation. You take a break, company takes a break. You're sick at home, company's sick at home. That's not a company. That's not a business. That's a job. So, but you just happen to be self-employed. So again, you're stuck with you. And that's why, and honestly, that's where so many entrepreneurs get stuck. They escape the 9 to 5 like you may have and I was able to do, only to create a 24-hour a day job for themselves. Now, we just traded in the 9 to 5 and we picked up a 24/7. That's what most of us are. More freedom? Nope. Less freedom. Because freedom was supposed to be the goal, but it just ain't happening, right? So, but somehow we ended up more responsibility, more stress, more pressure. Every month we start back at zero. More clients we need, more sales we need, more hustle, more chasing, more grinding. Eventually we just burn out. Not because we're lazy, but because we're trapped. And that's where a lot of you are. You're trapped in a business model that requires you to constantly be involved. Now, here's what I want you to think in contrast to that. Imagine a different life. Imagine, because I've lived this nightmare, by the way, thank God I don't live it today. But imagine a different life. Imagine waking up knowing that what you built yesterday is working for you today. Whether you get involved in the process or not, imagine creating something once and getting paid for it over and over again. Imagine owning a system instead of constantly trading time. You got a meeting, you got a call, you're just burning yourself out. So imagine building assets this time instead of building exhaustion. You're burned out, can't spend time with your kids, can't spend time with your family. I've been there. You just want to take a nap, you just want to get away from it all. It's stressful, it ain't fun. But the minute you realize that if you design it in a different way because the model's the issue, everything changes. The people who create real freedom understand one simple principle, and that is income follows value. The more value you create, the more income you generate. But here's where a lot of people get it wrong in the state that you may be making, that I've made for sure. Most people create value one customer at a time. And I've been there. You just want to be loyal to the customer, just want to see them win, but it ends up becoming babysitter, and and you're not happy anymore because you gotta follow this and watch this and babysit them here and pick them up here and bottle them here and change their diapers at some point, and it ain't fun. So, but the wealthy, it's going to change your mindset. The wealthy create value once and distribute it 1,000 times. You create value 1,000 times, one customer at a time. And that's a big difference. So a teacher creates one lesson, then thousands watch it. A software company builds one solution, then thousands use it. A membership creates one experience, and then hundreds or even thousands subscribe to it. So the question I have for you is, how do you move from selling time to creating value that can be delivered repeatedly over and over again? And that's where the MVP framework comes in. That's something I discovered. It helped me start implementing it. I was like, hey, I'm doing this coaching, I'm doing this training. I'm all over the place. I'm burned out. It's not fun anymore. I need a framework and I need a system, some guidelines that'll help me. That's how I came up with the MVP system. Find a market, create value, profit repeated. That's pretty easy, huh? Find a market, create value, profit over and over again. For some of you, you're sitting there going, what? What did he say? Find a market, create value, and profit from it over and over again. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. You can make money and profit repeatedly. Find a group of people with a problem, create a solution to that problem, sell it to them over and over again. Subscription, membership, whatever. Then build a way to deliver that solution over and over. That's it. Simple, not anything hard, but simple. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't need investors, and you don't need to revolutionize some type of invention. You just need a market, a problem, a solution, and then a system to deliver it over and over again. Because systems create freedom. That's why you feel like you're locked in. That's why you feel like you can't grow your business. You don't have a system. You are the business. It's either your business is going to run on systems or self. And in the beginning, my business ran on self. And guess what? Self didn't like that. Self didn't like that. So, because again, systems create freedom and self creates frustration. You want frustration or you want freedom? I know the answer. But without systems, you have to understand you're the product. With systems, your solution becomes a product. And that's the big shift. That's what changed everything for me. And that's exactly what this challenge is about. Helping ordinary people like you, whether you're an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, create automated income by finding problems, creating solutions, and getting paid for those problems over and over. That's it. Not get rich quick, not overnight success. This ain't magic. I'm not Harry Potter. It's just a smarter way to build income. That's all it is. And it's a way that doesn't require you to trade every hour of your life just to earn an extra dollar. Because, again, eventually that's going to burn you out. And if you do that, income's going to become risky. You're going to be hanging on to every dollar, every new student, and you're just going to become a parent, a helicopter parent, involuntarily, of 1,000 students. And it doesn't have to be that way. And by the way, just having one client at a time is risky anyway. One paycheck is risky, one client is risky. But ownership changes everything. That's the lesson I learned. So if you'd like to learn more about the Automate Your Income Academy, we're currently putting everything together kind of behind the scenes. By the way, hit subscribe. Welcome to the channel. We're going to keep talking about ways to make money without having to punch a clock on this channel. Whether you're an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, it does not matter. This channel's for you. Make sure you lock in. Tap the notification bell. Every time a video drops, you're going to get notified. You'll be first to know. But again, we're building everything up behind the scenes. We're only opening right now to a limited number of spots. And so if you're interested, you can send me an email. I'll put the email link down below. Or you could just comment AYI in the comments below. And that's going to be where we're going to start. So if you're there and you're like, hey, I'm a coach, I'm an entrepreneur, or I have a business, or I'm a consultant, or hey, Sean, I don't have any of that. I'd like to learn how to do that. Then there's going to be a place for you in this academy. But again, right now, because we're not fully built out, we cannot take everybody. I'm very limited. So either put AYI, automate your income, down in the comments below, or email me, and I'll put the email link down below. Email me and tell me a little bit about what you're working on and why you're stuck or where you're stuck. And if it's a good fit, I'll send you some information. But to wrap this up again, until next time, stop chasing income. Start building assets. And again, if you're interested in being one of the first people inside of the AYI Academy, send me an email. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me where you're stuck. And again, if it's a good fit, something I feel like I can help you with, then I'll send you some more information. And we're only helping just a few people right now as we get off the ground. So, because I don't want to create a job for myself. I do want to help you, but I don't want a job. Okay, so we're going to limit how many people get in. So you already know what to do. But if that's you and you're like, I need to grow, scale, I got to get in a position to make money from this thing over and over again, Sean, can you help me with that? Then you're a perfect fit for the AYI Academy. And if you're someone that's going, hey, I need to find a way to create income, residual income, I've never run a business or anything like that, can you help me? Then you could be a fit potential. All right, otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next video. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up.